it will tell you correct information. Sometimes when a broker sells, they will interpret the way they want to sell. They will please the buyer, and when they please the buyer, they will say what the buyer wants to hear. But that's not exactly what we're selling. In fact, just earlier, we had a meeting with marketing, and one of our main issues is that they were trying, in this case, I described it as we're selling a Toyota Altis. And we were selling the Toyota Altis at the price of an Eon. So, the advantage is that we're selling something that's better than the price, our competitive price. So that was the advantage. But what some of these guys are doing is that they're selling a Mercedes-Benz. And that's not what we're selling. And because they're the one talking to the buyer, that's what they're telling the buyer. And one day, these buyers come to us and they tell us, why is it not a Mercedes-Benz that you're delivering to me? And we say, we didn't sell you a Mercedes-Benz. We sold you an Altis. And he says, no, that's not what the salesman told me. The salesman told me you are delivering a Mercedes-Benz. So we tell them, let's look at the contract. The contract says it's an Altis. And then the buyer says, no, this is the contract. This is not what the salesman told me. So we have to do all these corrections and explanations because most salespeople overcommit. Here, it is clear exactly what we're committing. They're inputting the data based on what we feed them, not based on what a salesman would like to sell a buyer. So we feel that this is better. This is more accurate because before they put something in, they verify what is being sold in the market. So it's an Altis, so you sell an Altis. Nothing more, nothing less. So if there's a mistake, it's our mistake already because you picked it up from us. That is not what's happening in the real estate industry. In many cases, a salesman would often sell more than what we're selling. Anyway, we have quite a few products in real estate, but since today we're talking of two specific products, we're talking of Ridgewood Tower, I'd like to give a few highlights of what Ridgewood is. The condos in the immediate area, I'm referring to the Fort, there's no one selling below 5 million. And in McKinley Hill, there's no one selling below 4. We're selling at 2. So, how we see things is simple. Those who can't afford here will buy here. And if you tell the public that we have such a product that's 2 million pesos, those who cannot buy there would definitely consider buying here. So it's an easy sale. This doesn't mean that we're selling them a product that is inferior to their product. In fact, our specification, if you will see, is equal or better than theirs, except maybe for location, because we're here in C5 and they're there inside the fort. But we are 5-minute walk from Aura, SM Aura, and then a few more minutes to Market. Across the street is McKinley Hill, and I just found out a week or so ago that there's a nice mall inside McKinley Hill. So we say we should be fairly competitive. The same thing is what we do everywhere else, like in Sukat. At the back of Jacal, we have Monte Carlo. And everybody else selling in Sukat is selling at much higher prices. At 90,000 per square, the cheapest unit of our immediate neighbor is selling at over 3 million pesos. And a little after that, they're all big players, by the way. They're selling at over 2, and we're selling at 1.2 million. So naturally, those who cannot buy their products would go to us because we're cheaper. So what do you announce to the public? Tell them that there is such a product that's cheaper in the market, which is not necessarily inferior. That's a good message. Our finishing is equal, almost the same, sometimes even better, at a price much lower per square, and a size slightly smaller. It's a proportion. we're at 2 million here. We're slightly smaller than the 5 million peso unit in the Fort because they're selling at 160,000 pesos per square or higher. We are selling, as you saw here, 90,000, but we're giving a 10% discount, so it's still 81. So that's half the price of the Fort. So why is it cheaper? Because it's half the price, plus slightly smaller. So we're 2 million, they're 5. It is the same mindset that we have in every single project that we have, whether it's in Cavite, in Laguna, in Parañaque, in Las Piñas, in BF Homes, where we are from. You will see that everybody else selling in the area is selling at over 8 million pesos. We noticed that the fastest selling product is an 8 million renovated house. This was about 3 years ago. And you said, why a second-hand house? Why not a brand new 8 million house? We found out that brand new houses are always about 12 million. We said, so it must be affordability, because why would they buy a second-hand house if they can find a brand new house for the same price of 8 million? There's no such 8 million peso brand new house in BF. So he says, maybe we can develop a product that's brand new and cheaper. So we came out with a 3.5 million peso house. So we have 3 bedroom, 3 toilets and bath, as much as 4-car parking, at 3.5 million pesos. Maybe not in the same best place in BF, usually in the perimeter, but rather than to go to Cavite, you're in BF. Okay. Then we also developed a brand new product, single detached, bigger than the old bungalow that's renovated, which is sold at 8, and sold it for less than 7 million. Bigger house, smaller time. But overall, our products sell before we construct it. It's always sold out. Okay? Our approach there is to purchase the land, we construct the house. It's a longer process because we don't construct. We don't construct immediately. We call it purchase of land and house construction. The approach makes it cheaper. My point is, we always make it a point to have a cheaper product, and it sells. But we also have a problem of people telling a different story from what we're selling. Actually, that was one of our main hurdles, to educate them and tell them it doesn't make sense not to tell the truth, because eventually it catches up on you. Here is a platform that makes that clearer. Maybe you can help us do this. It makes a lot of money because it's a percentage of sale. Rather than, I don't know how they set it up, but it's always a percentage of sale. And there's large money because real estate is in the millions of pesos. Everybody needs houses. Today, based on the statistics in the Philippines, you have a backlog of about 5.5 million homes. It means there are 5.5 million families that doesn't have a house. It doesn't say, when we say doesn't have a house, it can mean that you are a family living with your parents, and it doesn't mean that you don't have a house. It can mean you're in a shanty, it can mean you're living with parents, living with friends, and that's what we describe as somebody who needs a house but doesn't have it. Affordability is not included in that statistic. Many people, that's why some big developers build more houses. They build it for the purpose of selling it to whoever they can sell it to. They go abroad, they sell it to Europe, they sell it in the United States, and these people are the ones that doesn't need homes because they're living there. But because they're the ones who can afford, they're able to sell. In our case, we sell to end users here. We don't sell abroad. We have no sale abroad. All our sales are from here. These are people who need a house, so all our buildings are filled up. You see, the condos in the Fort, many of them are vacant even after after 10 years of completion. Why? Because they were sold abroad and those people who bought it doesn't need it. In our case, before we build, they're already waiting for the house because they need the house. And so we capture that market that needs the house. And we hope that you will be able to capture the same market that we're looking for. The one who needs the house. Because we don't want a vacant building after 5 years and because they're all investors. So that's the kind of market we have. We hope you can verify with us how we can help you capture that market. You will not have a difficult time selling our product because it's needed. We study the market before we come in. I myself is a marketing person. Before we went into development, I used to sell for big developers. We have a marketing outfit. So we know that before we develop our products, we survey our competition, find out what they're selling, and then position in a market that will sell itself. Because even the salespeople of the other groups will come to us and tell us that we'd like to sell for you. In fact, earlier on, Marla told me that there's a marketing group from another group that wants to credit with us. Because they know they need a place to dump their buyers who cannot afford what they have. It's just, for every 100 or every 1,000 buyers, you capture only 2, 3, 4% of that will buy. The 95, 97% is not going to buy. What do you do with that? And most of them cannot buy, not because they don't want the product, but because they can't afford it. Who'd like to live in Forbes Park here? Everybody? You don't mind living? If I give you a house in Forbes Park, will you accept? Yes. Okay lang? What I'm saying is that people want more than what they can afford. But in reality, when they start buying, they cannot buy that house. So, most of the people who go to McKinley Hill and the Fort would often ask how much that is. And he says, no, it's not realistic, I can't afford it anyway. So here comes an opportunity for you to sell something wherein a bigger percentage of those who cannot buy can buy. Doesn't mean all, there's no such product everybody will buy. Doesn't exist. If they capture 2 or 3% and we can capture 10, that's good enough. You say, what about the 80, 83, 87% that you were able to sell to? That's just a fact of